Hey guys, welcome to yet another episode of the podcast, the Empty Stands podcast. How did I forget that? My name is Reward, your host, and I'm here with my co-host Nkem. How you doing, bro?
Hello, I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Football is back finally. Feels like an age since we last saw
Yeah,
football. And FPL is back. I'm so happy. I mean, there's so much to say about the international break after just 3 game weeks, but I'm glad that's out of the way and we can
mhm.
finally focus on the game we and the sports we all love. So yeah, how have you been?
Good, good. Super excited that the game weeks are back. Football is back. I mean, of course, we've spent the entire international break looking out for assets. Can't believe I feels weird calling players assets, but yes, it's what they are.
Well, some of them are liabilities, so
I know, right? So yeah, I mean, we spent the whole period just trying to make sure the players are okay. We're doing things as weird as tracking how when players traveled for games when they are back.
yeah,
I just think it's crazy what FPL has done to us, but it's the game that we've come to grow and love. So
yeah,
yeah,
awesome.
we're here again. So let's jump into the game week 4 preview. Again, welcome to the Empty Stands podcast, people. So yeah, jumping in, our first ESPN fun fact, ESP fun fact actually is we've had over 630K managers activate their wild card. Reward, you are one of okay, you are not one of these
No,
six.
I'm not. No. I mean, I activated mine in game week 3, so yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's crazy how a lot of people have decided that this is the right time to do it. So interesting.
I think I'll call it FPL maturity, right?
Right.
I have kicked. I've actually started my own wild card as well. I think
Oh, you did? Oh,
yes,
wow.
I think it was on Sunday. I
Yeah.
was just looking at my team and I was like, man, this thing needs open heart surgery though. Like, and what's the point of taking hits and saving the wild card when I see that I
Yeah.
have an imminent problem right now? And I mean, from my previous experiences, like going till the game week 15s or 10s of this, it hasn't really worked out well for me because
Yeah.
I come to realize I don't really need the wild card. It's just a case of I need to use the wild card before it goes. But like, yeah, I felt like I really needed to use it. So yeah, we're on
Well,
wild card.
I mean, there's no right or wrong way to use your chips. If you feel like your team needs the surgery, like you mentioned, then why not? I know some people prefer to wait till maybe like the second international break. I think that's in game week 6 or 8. I'm not sure. Yeah,
Mhm.
some people might decide to wait till then,
Yeah,
or some people might like to wait till when we have like proper fixture turns, like teams like Arsenal. I
yeah.
mean, we'll get into that, but teams like Arsenal, I think from like game week 7, have like a brilliant run of fixtures. So some people might wait till that time to use their wildcards. But I mean, it's manager dependent. If you feel like your team needs it, why not? I
Mhm.
use my game week 3 because yeah, I'm impatient, but yeah,
Oh yeah, you needed to go where you need to go. You need to go. So
simple. Yeah,
all right. So we're jumping into the next segment, which is rewards wild card.
yeah.
Let me
So
do it.
coming up with this, I mean, I played mine in game week 3, but I'm just doing this for the show. So for our listeners on the pod, I'm gonna read out if I was to wildcard in game week 4, this will be my team.
Okay.
For goalkeepers, I decided to go with Verbruggen from Brighton and Flecken. I mean, it can be any 4.5 goalkeeper or 4 million goalkeeper. I still refuse to spend over 5 million on a goalkeeper. It might be my bias, but I don't know. I don't see the value in spending that much on a goalkeeper. So yeah. again, some people might prefer to just go with one 4.5 and a 4.0, and so just because this is almost chaotic, because the times I'll decide to play Verbruggen, he might blank and Flecken would Flecken will pop. So yeah, the swap is always, it's interesting, but I prefer to have it that way anyways. So I went with Verbruggen and Flecken. My defense, I went with Rico Lewis. I mean, we can see a lot about him. Trent, Gabriel, Robinson from Fulham, and Graves from Ipswich. His 4.0 plays is a centre back. I really like Ipswich's fixtures. Yeah, so that's why I got him. I mean, it can be any 4.0 defender. Who cares? Fires, whoever. In midfield, I went with Eze, Luis Diaz, Semenyo, and Salah. Oh, and then Mbeumo is on my bench for this game week. And then in attack, I went with João Pedro, and of course, Haaland, and any random 4.5 forward would do. None of them play anyways, so but you can just choose anyone. That's it. Yeah.
It actually looks pretty. It looks pretty solid. It looks pretty solid. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm really struggling with not having an Arsenal defender across the first 3 game weeks. So I think this really covers that, because I agree with you. I don't see any reason to spend over 4.5 million on a goalkeeper right now. Like, yeah, especially with the new rules, like it's just so unpredictable for you to have that much value stored in your goalkeeping positions. But I like what you've done with Verbruggen and Flecken. I actually am pondering doing that. Another good thing I've seen you've been able to do here as well is having both Salah and Haaland in your.
We'll talk about that, but there was no way after the blunder I did last game week by taking out Haaland and seeing him score yet another hat trick. There was no way. I mean, anybody who's wildcarding now, if you don't have Haaland and Salah, I really don't know what you're doing. Yeah.
Question though. So does this reflect your current team? So have you been able to get in both Haaland and Salah, or this is just for the listeners?
No, this is for our listeners, because I mean, I wildcarded in game week 3, and I took out. I started the season with Haaland. I didn't have Salah. I wildcarded in game week 3 and took out Haaland and bought Salah. I don't think I'm going to flip-flop again. So for now, I made my choice. I'll just stick with it. So I'm just going to hide behind the sofa anytime Haaland is playing. But I trust and hope that Salah does me so. Yeah, so I'm sticking with Salah for now. I mean, I just wildcarded. So, but I'm looking at game week 7. I hope, I mean, we always say this. We can save 5 transfers now. So I hope to save enough transfers to be able to bring in Haaland in game week 7. But for now, I'm going to be extremely patient and hope that Haaland blanks. Yeah.
Okay. So you're wishing people bad. Okay. We hear you. So guys, let us know what you think about Rewards second wildcard drafts. Let us know in the comments what you think about Rewards second wildcard draft. So next we're going into my wildcard draft. So I would give a disclaimer. This is not the final draft. I've been playing with this for the whole of today as well. But yeah, I'll let you know how I'm thinking about it. So in goal, yes, I did have Verbruggen and Flecken, but I needed some more money. So I think I saw something about Areola either being injured or something. So I kind of
back. I think he's back. I saw a report where he trained, so I think he's back.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess I'll join Reward on the prayer train of hoping somebody is not back for the game. But yes, I'm going with Verbruggen, and the reason is he has decent fixtures. I think the next 3 fixtures are decent.
The next 2 actually, yeah.
So but in FPL fashion, you never can tell, right? So he looks good. I think he is starting for his national team, if I'm not mistaken. And I just think there's a lot going on well for him. And also, I know the Brighton coach, I'm yet to grasp his name fully, but yeah, he did say he wanted a number one goalie that he was going to stick to, and it looks like Verbruggen is going to be that guy. And Brighton does look good. They don't take in a lot of goals. So, yeah, I want to see how that's going to play out. I might still switch to Flecken, but the argument with Flecken for Brentford is Brentford concede goals. So I don't know how comfortable I am with having
he concedes goals, but he does make a lot of saves.
Exactly.
Right?
So I don't know if I'm okay with. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be able to keep those goals out.
I mean, it's good. I feel like it's a good rotation because if you look at the next 2 game weeks, like you said, Brighton play Ipswich and Nottingham Forest.
Okay.
Right. So 2 home games. So you could start Verbruggen in both of them, and then on the other hand, Brentford play City and Spurs away, both away games. So I mean, it's a no-brainer for you to bench Flecken. But after those 2 games, Flecken then has like a lovely set of nice run of fixtures as well. So you have West Ham at home, Wolves at home, United, Ipswich. So I mean, you could possibly start him there and then bench Verbruggen in the rest. I think Brighton play Chelsea away, Spurs at home, Newcastle away, Wolves at home. So yeah, you can do the
flip-flop between the two.
Yeah.
Or I can, if I'm able to save 5 transfers like we are all trying to do, I'll be able to bring in Flecken at the time, because my main issue is having that extra 0.5%, million rather, to invest elsewhere. So I'll move on to the other players. With Konsa, for me, it was just a fixture thing and a 4.5 thing, if I'm being honest. I might still swap that, but he does look good for fixture.
Are you sure he's fit though? Because
that's another. So there are so many things to consider here. There's the fitness. There's Aston Villa playing in the Champions League. What's it looking like in terms of rotation? I really don't know what to expect. So I just might look for another 4.5 guy or a 4.0 just to complete. Because to be honest, I'm really not. I think I've decided this season that I'm not really bothered about going heavy in my defense. I'll rather go with those in the attack. The thing I suffered as well with Alexander-Arnold, because I know, that's what everybody is doing. But we had this discussion on the last pod. Like, my thing with Alexander-Arnold is he's just 2 points higher than the next Liverpool defender. And for me, I'm like, I don't know what is happening. It feels like he may be upset with Slot, because if you notice, Slot has been taking him off at like the 7th.
Well, that's his slot thing, no? He takes off his wingers and his backs every. I think everyone knows that. So
so I think he's messing with his head or something. I don't know what it is, but
I feel like it's good for FPL, because typically when you play against Liverpool, you're most likely losing by the 80th minute, right? Or the 70th minute. You're chasing the game, and then that's when you're bringing all your attackers from the bench, and there's every likelihood that you maybe just score 1 goal, right?
Yeah.
So taking Trent or Robertson off at that time guarantees us the clean sheet.
Assuming, so there are a lot of assumptions there. I get it, but I don't want to be boggled down with that stress. Then the other side of it is Trent looked really good during the international fixtures weekend. Like, he really looked good for England. So that's going to be an L that I would take. I went with Mazraoui mainly because, to be honest, he's not really. I mean, I know United is very flaky, but he really looks like a good shout for 4.5 for me. It's mainly the cost, actually. Like, he's not really.
You can't help yourself, can you?
No. I was actually looking for a 4.5 million value defender, and for me, I think he was my best option. And he won't necessarily start, but I just feel like he's a good 4.5 option to have. Next is Konate. Sorry?
No. Go ahead.
Okay. Next is Konate. Konate is mainly because I don't have the tolerance to spend above 5.5 million on a defender. Like, it does not sit well with me, and I think it's something I've just agreed to go with this season. It may change. I'm also looking at Porro. I think Porro has looked really menacing for Spurs. I might find a way to bring him in, but I think it's really criminal not to have a Liverpool defender, given what we've seen so far. I know the other criminal thing I'm doing is not having an Arsenal defender, but they are all pretty expensive. I think the only person I was really considering from a cost perspective was Timber, but I don't think I've seen enough to convince me to pick him over a Konate because I've decided I'm going to have just one over 5 million defender.
Okay.
Moving on, I have Lewis, no brainer. I don't have to say. So
Yeah.
Lewis is just you must have him. My only regret is I didn't get him at the beginning, so I had to pay 4.7 for him. Yeah, the king of FPL. I just had to. I'm so sorry that I disrespected you. My apologies. He's back in. He's not going anywhere for now. I did have that struggle of him versus a Luis Diaz because Luis Diaz is looking good, but again, he's the king. Like
Yeah.
you just don't want to. I've made the mistake. I don't want to make that mistake again.
Yeah.
Then next, I have Minte. I actually had Mitoma in here, and my reasons were they are looking good, right? Like I don't know what I don't know what's going on in training ground, but they are looking menacing. But I don't think they've given me enough goals to be convinced. But I'm very, very, very like optimistic about the Brighton players. They look like they need to support Welbeck and Joao Pedro, and it's only a matter of time that will come in. So Minter for me is like my budget midfielder. Hopefully it works out fine for me. Next is Saka.
Oh, okay.
Saka is another scenario for me that it's either a Saka or a Palmer, right? And my decision for Saka was just mainly because it's Saka. He's a star boy. Like I don't buy. I know his next fixtures are pretty tough, but like if anybody in the Arsenal attack is going to pop, it's either Saka or Havertz.
Yeah.
So it became a question of which of the players would I want to go with. So it was Saka. With Palmer, I think I'll definitely bring in Palmer at some point. I think he's inevitable, but I saw that he rose in his value, and I just didn't want to do a lot to destabilize my current team structure given my budget. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to bring him in. Painful decision, but hopefully he doesn't score. Now, my remedy to Palmer is Madueke. Like I think my final the nail on the coffin for me was the game, England's game, last game. I can't remember who they played. His ability to come in and make an impact in the short time. And
Yeah.
from what I've seen with him with Chelsea, he really looks promising. The worry of that rotation between him and Neto is there, but
Yeah.
like I just think he's
Just
just
better now. I thought Sancho. Where does Sancho play again?
that's for you guys to decide. Please don't stress me. Don't stress me with former players. But yeah, there's every chance I might swap out Noni. But yeah, I just feel like it's criminal with Chelsea's fixtures not to have Noni, a Chelsea, not Noni rather, a Chelsea assets or a Chelsea attacker. I
Yeah.
did struggle with Jackson versus Madueke, but Jackson showed a lot of FPL managers Pepe last season. So he was not scoring the obvious. I mean, he was an XG king,
Yeah.
but he wasn't just convincing enough. So for now, I'm pitching my tent with Noni Madueke. Then, of course, Joao Pedro, I don't need to say much. Haaland, I don't need to say much. On the bench, Fabianski, that might change. Let's see. Mbemo, this might change as well, right? Because Mbeumo has two tough fixtures, I think, against Man City and
City and I think it's
this.
Spurs. Yeah,
Yeah,
City and Spurs. Yeah.
yeah. I don't see Spurs as a tough fixture per se, but
Right.
yeah, I did think of going with someone else just to balance the team for this game week and bring in Mbeumo before the next game week. But again, like you, I'm trying to
Yeah.
project. Say I'm playing for like the next 2-3 game weeks, so I don't really have to make any substitutions or transfers.
Mhm.
So that's the justification for him. Vardy is an outlier. Like I just needed a striker to just complete my team, and I also wanted a striker that I could bring in that could do something. And it's Vardy. I mean, he's the Egbon. He's the Egbon of the Premiership. So he can do something for me. Hopefully, it might change as well. But I didn't really have any lower value striking options.
What is Delap from Ipswich?
Yeah, I thought of Delap as well, but I don't know. Delap versus Vardy is Vardy. Like maybe it's an eye test thing. I've seen Vardy. Vardy has it's
Yeah.
Vardy, dude. It's Vardy. Like
Well, he's like 40 now. So
again, it might change. I think I have about 24 hours plus to tinker and make some changes. Then I have finally Greaves. Yeah, I just needed a cheap defender to close out my team.
okay.
So yeah, that's it. Let me know what you think about the team.
Yeah, I think it's great. I love it. The only part I don't love, surprisingly, I think I like the Mazraoui shout against Southampton, so that's a good shout. But long time I'll prefer Robinson. Robinson has just been amazing since the start of the season, so I'll prefer Robinson. Konsa, I don't know how fit he is, so I'll most likely go for a Pau Torres. That's if you really wanted to go with a Villa
The
defender.
Villa defender, yeah.
Yeah, I'll maybe go with Pau Torres instead. Konate, he's definitely not the Liverpool defender I would go for. I'll definitely go for Trent or Robertson if you're trying. Yeah,
Budget.
I would
Budget.
definitely not go for a Konate. I mean, this game week feels like a Kwanzaa.
That's the other thing.
It feels like a Kwanzaa game week because I don't think the guy will just
thing.
it can change really.
That's the other thing. But yeah, like I said, I did this. I finalized this team like maybe 2 days ago or one.
Okay.
Yeah, so a lot might still change. I'm still playing around with it. So we'll see.
Yeah.
So let us know what you think about reward versus in chems wildcard teams in the comments. So next we go into the first thing is football is so terrible now. Like I noticed a lot of people on social media being happy about somebody's injury, and it was just so confusing. Like everybody is happy, or all competing teams are happy. It's all banned that Odegaard is out. It's so sad for me because he's really
I don't
beautiful to
think
watch.
people are like I don't want to say that happy. I feel like it's just like you said, it's just football bans. I don't think anyone is being serious.
Of course, not happy.
Yeah, wishing him.
But like they feel like the probability of Arsenal not popping.
Yeah, I
him
mean, Arsenal and City were extremely lucky last season. Like they had it very good with injuries. So I mean, it's everyone's trying to see how they cope now that they're having their own fair share of injuries and absentees. So I mean, I don't know what kind of Arsenal we'll see against Spurs and City with Odegaard and Rice out, and they also have Merino, who was maybe likely to have substituted for him. I don't think they have any other midfielder that could cover, so we might likely see a midfield of Jorginho and Partey, and. As a Rivals fan, I'm licking my lips, but yeah, I feel like they're still Arsenal, and if we've learned anything from Arteta, he's been extremely cautious. I feel like he's not as attacking as he was back then. I think even if we could have also seen the transfer market, what he did was show up his defense.
Yeah.
Right. So it looks like he's going. He'll definitely. I feel like he'll go defense mode. So I don't know.
Okay.
It's going to be a big blow because I don't see how. So maybe a Havertz can drop in and play that 8 because I mean he can play the 8 as well.
He's originally an 8 anyways.
I don't know what he is, but he's something.
He's originally an 8.
He's something. So maybe Havertz can drop in and play the 8, which then makes him a terrible asset because we prefer him as the 9. He's classed as a striker, so for him dropping, that's not good. And so maybe Jesus, I think Jesus is fit now, so maybe he can then strike for them. But this is a huge blow for Arsenal, losing both Odegaard and Rice. I mean, from the screen, we can see that with him, they have like a 66% win rate, and without him, it drops to a 52% win rate. So I don't know. And for us who have, because I currently have Saka in my team, the reason why I went with Saka was just remember. So people who are wildcarding or who wildcarded in game week 3 and are also wildcarded in game week 4, we're going to be going up against people who are going to wildcard in game week 6. And if you look at from game week 6, Arsenal's fixtures are just
sexy.
They face Leicester and Southampton, both at home back to back.
That's the word. Those sexy fixtures.
Yeah. Leicester, Southampton, Bournemouth. Like that's so I feel like everyone then will be trying to triple up on Arsenal assets. And for us who've already played our wildcards, it might be a tad too much because we might have other fires to put out and then we're struggling to get in Arsenal players. So that's why I was just like, you know what, I'll just go in for Saka and ride out these 2 games against Spurs and City. And like you mentioned, if anyone's going to score for Arsenal, it has to be Saka. So if you're wildcarding, I'll just say put that in mind. But yeah, Saka is I won't. So if I was to do a transfer, I'm definitely not bringing in Saka this game week. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I know a lot of people who are going from Saka to Salah. So
which makes sense.
I would
spreading out the risk.
Yeah. I would do that if I had the funds. Yeah. So I don't know. Well,
all right. The other option is those of you that might be able to save up to 5, 4, 3 transfers as well. You might have wiggle room, but yeah, we all know how that's going so far.
I don't think anyone's been able to save anything.
All right, so that's the story of Odegaard and Arsenal. So we have the weekend to tell us how that's going to go. So we have Arsenal again.
Yeah, we already spoke about Saka has a brilliant record against Spurs. Scored 25 points against them last season, more than any other team. So Spurs is like his best team to play against. And I mean, in other slides, we'll see that he's like the 3rd most transferred out player this game week. So, and that's he hasn't blanked yet this season. So
it's weird, but again, I get it, but it's weird. But yeah,
I can understand why people are selling him. Like I know most people are probably selling him for a Salah. So that's that's a no-brainer. But it's a tricky one. I'm keeping. So yeah.
The question for you though, for those that would have a Salah and a Haaland already and are taking out a Son with 10 million in the bank to spend, who would you bring in?
Son. Yeah, so I mean, to be able to get all those guys, I don't think you can go with three premiums. That's if you even have Trent in defense. So you can definitely Spurs. I don't know what to think of Spurs, honestly. I really don't know because they are so inconsistent. The last game week against Newcastle, they bossed the whole game, but they were just not clinical enough. So,
they were sloppy in attack.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make. Son is a sell for me, definitely. I think you should. We have other cheap assets, like you mentioned, who can even deliver even better than he's doing, right? Bremo, Semenyo, Eze. Yeah. I would definitely sell Son.
Okay, so that means we have question marks on. Okay, we have a question mark on Saka. And Son is a quote unquote
definite sell. Yeah.
But you know how the FPL is. Son might be listening, Son might be watching, and Son might decide to do something.
But if there's ever a time for Spurs to stick it to us now's the time. So let's
and it'll be really interesting. I can't wait to see the game. It's a must. They must see. Yes, most transferred in segments. What are your thoughts? Are you surprised?
I'm not surprised. I mean, Haaland, I don't think there's anything to be said about that. So I still don't have Haaland, so I'm just gonna hide. Luis Diaz, I really, really love what I'm seeing from Luis Diaz. I think the slot system fits him perfectly. It feels like all the central players like Jota, they kind of create space for the wingers, Salah and Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz in particular to just cut in, and he's never been this clinical, so it's amazing. So I'm very, very big on Luis Diaz. So I'm definitely not surprised. João Pedro, I mean, his He's on pens. He scored against Arsenal last game week. He scored in the previous game week. Yeah, and he's cheap, 5.7. Can definitely cover. Brighton faced Ipswich at home. That's a brilliant fixture, in my opinion. Yeah, so no surprises here, but it remains to be seen. I mean, last season we saw how the curse of the most transferred in player. Anytime we bring in someone, and then they proceed to blank. But yeah, I think these guys are. It's a no-brainer, really.
Okay. Well, I mean, when you said 5.7 cheap, I was triggered because in our current FPL world of having four, five premiums that are over 10 million that we
You
want.
can't have everybody. Just make this with it. You can't have everyone.
5.7 is expensive. Like they should. Then another thing that I did think of, I was thinking of now that you brought up the Joao Pedro discussion is, you know how he traveled, he was called up to Brazil. I mean, for the Brazil international game, he's supposedly being tracked. We don't know if he has landed.
Back, he was in training today.
Okay, all right. You see what I said. So did he train for the whole session? Or
how am I supposed to know?
You need to know these things. You need to know these things. But yeah, I did have that thought in my head of a Welbeck versus Joao Pedro because they are not so far apart, and we definitely know Welbeck will probably start because he has no international, whatnot. But again, we are planning for the future. We don't want to make any unnecessary changes. So yes, Joao Pedro, it probably is. Next, we're on to the most transferred out, and I'm not surprised because
no surprises here.
I'm not surprised at all. But I'm actually surprised that a lot of people had Ollie Watkins in their teams after the.
Why you? I still do.
You are you.
I'm patient enough to believe that this is his game week.
Hopefully, it pays off. Hopefully.
I mean, he's even carrying a knock, so that's even. I'm not going to lie and say I'm not worried, but I hope. And John Duran has been seriously knocking on that door. So, but John Duran, like Joao Pedro, is coming from Colombia, so I don't know. Watkins didn't travel with England, so he's been back resting, I'm guessing. So, just looking at the fixtures. Everton at home, Wolves at home, Ipswich away, United at home, Fulham away, Bournemouth at home. It's tough. Yeah, it's tough.
Champions League, Carabao.
Everton has considered. They are the only team in the league that have considered double figures so far.
I feel it for those guys.
That game, it feels like an Oli Watkins hat trick because now that everyone's transferred him out, and then he bangs. I seriously hope he does.
But he's expensive though, for the uncertainty.
He is, but I mean, I'm banking on him since I don't have Haaland, so he's mine. Yeah, it's a crazy shout, but yeah.
Okay, makes sense since you don't have Haaland anyways.
Isak,
I think he's going to show us. I think we are going to come back.
He already said it in the interview. He's going to score a brace. So I don't know. I don't know why people are selling Isak though.
It's just impossible, man. Like, dude, having a lot of, I'm not sure what the count is, but I'm sure over 50% of FPL managers have both Salah and.
You can't have everyone, so you have to make
and Salah and Haaland. So yeah, it's tough to have Isak. Then Bukayo.
You already spoke about that. Yeah, it's fair enough.
I'm trusting the star boy to come in hot for me. All right, differentials. What you saying?
I'm surprised there's someone. I think there's someone missing here. Can you guess who I'm thinking of? You can't? Nope. It's closer to home than you think. No.
I don't want to get wrong. Who?
Why is Rashford not here?
So, for those that cannot see but are listening, and to forget what this unserious man is saying, on the differentials segment, we have Mbemo, Wisa, and Son. they are the top 3 differentials for game week going into game week 4. I don't know what reward is saying about Rashford. Yeah, as a United fan, I'm hoping that. Yeah, I just don't want to go into that. But yeah,
Southampton are the weeping boys of the league. Like, what is there not to go into?
it's Man United, man. It's Man United. We surprise ourselves.
Rashford
So
is just 2.9% owned. That's
and
incredible.
I'm sure he's probably 7.5 or 8. You see, I don't even know what he costs.
6.9. He's so cheap.
Whoa.
Yeah, 6.9.
Okay. I
6.9.
mean, you never know. There's always that very interesting manager that will have Rashford captained.
Right.
Team. So
And it seems like Ten Hag is in love with him because I don't know why he benches Ahmad or
please, can we focus on differentials?
right.
This is not a therapy session for me.
I feel like a United player definitely has to be here against Southampton. A United player has to be here. But
yeah,
anyways,
but they're not in the top. We're focusing on the top 3 though. Like
I haven't Burma in my team, but I feel like everyone's going to bench him this game week because he's
I mean,
playing City. So
and you never know. He might. Yeah. It's
yeah.
football.
Sorry, I don't have him Burma. I have Wisa, and I'm benching him against City. A couple of people have him Burma. They'll probably bench him too, but City have been conceding the odd goal.
Yeah.
They tend to always concede 1 goal, so it could be if anyone's going to score for Brentford, it has to be Wisa and Buemo. Son, like we mentioned earlier, I don't know what to make of him. I don't know where he plays, either the striker or the left wing. I don't know if Solanke is back, so there's a lot of uncertainty there.
That's another thing to look out for.
Yeah, but it's the North London derby, and yeah, it should be fireworks. So yeah.
Yep. Okay. So another thing to know is that points. Mbemo has a total haul of 24 so far. Wisa with 21, and Son, despite the fact he's been unflattering, he's on 21, which is not terrible. But again, we expect a lot more from Son. Could it be a case of diminishing returns? Could it be a case of now that he's
30? Yeah, so
yeah, it's just interesting. But okay, let us know what you think.
They need a striker. So if Solanke is back, I probably would look at Son again. But I don't know how I feel about him as a striker. Yeah.
Okay, so let us know in the comments what you think, what differentials should be here, who should be considered. And yes, for the final segment of the day, which for this game week for me is a no-brainer though. But yeah, for me, it's a no-brainer. It's the king. If you have the king, it has to be the king.
Really?
Yeah.
This guy looks like he scores a hat trick every game, and you say it's a no-brainer.
Well, the king that is not scoring hat trick. Is he not level on points with him or close to him on points? Do you understand? Like, don't be flattered. Haaland is doing a lot, but Salah is just laughing and is like, "Hold my drink, I'll do this." So, yeah, for me, I think it's Salah. My everything in my body is telling me to captain Salah. So that's who I'm going with. How about you? You don't have Haaland.
So it's an easy decision.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
So I'm captain Salah. But if
I
had both, I don't know. It's just Thomas Frank has. I mean, I feel like he's a mini a low budget Mourinho. He has a way of setting up his team to like seriously pack the bus. But then again, it's Haaland. Whether you pack the bus or what, the guy always finds a way to score. So it's a tough one. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong either way. But I don't have Haaland, so I don't have to worry about that. So it's Salah for me.
Okay. Any other options? Any other assets we should consider?
I mean, maybe Palmer. I feel like Chelsea does better away from home, so maybe you can go for a Palmer or a Saka. He likes playing Spurs, yeah. So you can go for Saka as well. But remember that there's no Odegaard, so I don't know. I'm not sure how that relationship works with whoever's going to play in midfield. Yeah. So that's it.
All right. Okay. So there you have it, folks. Let us know what you think in the comments as well. Who are you captaining for the game week 4? So yes, that brings us to the end of this week's episode. Awesome. Do you have any parting shots for us?
I don't have any parting shots. Just wishing everyone green arrows. Whether you're playing the wildcard or just going on with your bus team or riding it out till whatever
And I
game.
must say, some people have some very good team set up already, which is making me really question my decision making at the beginning of the season. But again, that's FPL; it could swing anywhere, so it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, let's see how it goes. But it looks set to be an enticing game week.
Yeah.
It's coming right after the international break, and typically we don't get lots of great games. I don't know why, but yeah, let's see how it goes. I'm really keen on watching the North London derby to see how Arsenal do without the top guys. So, yeah.
All right. So there you have it, guys. So until next week, we're wishing you green arrows.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Bye.